Welcome back to part 6 of Shantae, Half Genie Hero, where today, after a little bit of cleanup, we'll be entering the last proper exploration-based level of the game. Because, yeah, this game really isn't big, as I've kept on stressing. The reason why I've been doing this project in between FF12 and what's going to be the SpongeBob remake is because this game is short enough that I can squeeze it in while we wait. But around Mermaid Falls, you may have noticed this weird little decor around the place that you can actually travel through with now the mouse power-up. And this is pretty much the only area where the mouse power-up gets much use. Like, there's a little puzzle you can set up in Tasseltown that we'll be doing this part as well, but there really isn't much use for it. As I've said before, this is the worst power-up in the game because it feels the most gimmicky. It feels like it's just here to be something different. And we can't actually do anything with this piece of the side quest yet anyway. Well, we can do, but I jumped ahead of a step. But there's a wizard here who's looking for candy, and, well, we don't have any. To get the candy, you need to be sick and then go to a doctor. Well, we got sick when we last did side questing in Tasseltown. So we just need to find a doctor who can then cure us of our sickness and then will give us a candy for our trouble. Elsewhere in Mermaid Falls, near on the far right end, using the mermaid form, there's a gallery key I could have picked up before, but just forgot about it if I'm honest. All the way in Tasseltown during the climb is the other little sections where the mouse power-up gets any kind of use. But there's no big one. There's an extra gallery key, which is nice to have because, you know, getting all of them makes an amazing reward. A little higher up, there's two other points. There's one here. Well, no, three other points because this one isn't actually worth anything. This secret path I show off just because it's an extra path that we haven't been to, but there is no purpose to be here. There's no collectible, there's no like side quests. There's just a shit ton of these little snake dudes and a few gems, and then that's it. Maybe it was supposed to be because this can be an effective grind spot because they spawn infinitely, but it just, I don't know. Right up near the top, there's a block here that I mentioned before that you can actually push all the way down to the very bottom. Don't worry about which direction you push to get it down the bottom. You can get it to where you need it to be regardless anyway. And then when you're ready, get all the way down here, push it to the far right, burst through the elephant. And you get this little puzzle. It's kind of. Which I get screwed out of. I don't know if I kept it in the recording. I probably didn't, but I got really screwed out of it at one point where I pushed one block and I didn't push it far enough, so when I pushed the next one down, I couldn't actually fit in the gap. But what you're doing is aligning these blocks to make a pathway that will enter you on the right-hand side. Ignore the left-hand side. It is a trick. Oh no, it is this recording. I did keep it in. I get completely screwed over. I drop this down, and it won't let me squeeze in the gap. Or when I do, it's too big for the elephant, so it won't happen. So I had to leave the room and re-enter because I got screwed out of the puzzle. I have to push it further. I'm glad I kept that in. I was curious if I did. I couldn't remember if I kept the recording in or not. But yeah, pushing that a little further this time. This is your starting block, as you can tell by the entranceway at the top. So you want this to be on the far left. Just for now, just so then it doesn't get in the way of the other blocks. Next is this one, right at the top up here. Because the block that starts down there is the last block you put in place. And what you're going to see me do, just to be safe, is nudge this a little bit. Not by much, just a little bit to kind of move it all along a bit better. Because if the blocks are stacked up, you can still move them all of the elephant. The elephant is strong enough to do it. It's just how far you'll push it, as you're about to see, gets reduced considerably. But, come on, we can do it. Yeah. Just give Shantae a concussion for a minute. No, there's four of them. And eventually it hits the back wall so it can't move anymore. There we go. Right, after giving Shantae a real bad concussion, now let's go through the maze we have set up that we can now take all the way through to the other side. And it's not even like they're difficult mazes. You can see the route through it. Like, they didn't make, like, if they at least made the mazes like really complex or something that you had to think about, maybe then I could mitigate some of the criticism I have towards it. But no, they're mostly straight lines that you could just take a couple turns and then there you are, sort of thing. But your reward for your efforts is another gallery key, which doesn't really seem worth it with the fact that that's a bit more complicated of a puzzle. They could have given you a heart holder or something, but oh well. Back all the way around the way we came, and we'll try and get out. There is one more thing worth picking up in this stretch of Tasseltown, and then we're pretty much done, I think, with Tasseltown. I think we 100%ed it after this bit. Or am I just double checking what's above in case there's anything else? Which there isn't, so let's get out of here. There's also this. Oh, I keep on forgetting about things. Like, I didn't record this that long ago. I recorded this like a week ago. But I keep on forgetting. This is the closest to a maze you get here. But you can see that it just takes me half a second and I'm like, okay, we're going that way. And then that's the end of that bit. Like, they're not complicated puzzles. It feels like a waste. And we've heard Shantae 5 has finally come out on UK PS4s. Only took them a week and a half as we get an extra heart holder. And I have played it a bit. I haven't got that far in it because it literally only came out yesterday. And I'm enjoying it. It's good. Like, I get the criticism that they've made it too easy. Like, I've heard a lot because they give you a lot of healing items. And they give you auto potions and you can hold 9 of them. So if you're about to die, she'll just use one and it's like a full heal. Like, it's kind of insane how impossible to die Shantae is. But I love the fact that we've gone back to the formula. Also, there's our lollipop, our candy, for visiting the doctor at the bathhouse to get rid of our sickness. Not even water, you find yourself going out that door. But I like that it's gone back to a Metroidvania because I always get a kick out of those sort of games. But more so, I like that there's more in the bosses. The bosses still aren't hard. The criticism I have of this game where the bosses are way too easy still kind of stands in the next game. But the reason why I let it off and I'm a lot kinder to it as we buy the scimitar is for the simple reason of there's more to the fights. It's not just a matter of wailing on them till they die or a very basic gimmick you can work out in 5 seconds. There is actually something that you have to do more with and you have to piece it together, and even when you get the gimmick sometimes it won't come to you as easily as you might hope and you have to spend time reworking it and yada yada. Like, it's not as brain dead, I think it's the best way to do it, as this game's bosses can be. A lot of this game's bosses feel very underdeveloped and a lot more could have been done with them. But by giving the candy to the wizard, he gives us the light shard, so we have done the next piece of building the dynamo. So whistling to get the hell out of here, it's time to return to Uncle in the shop and see what we can get out of our troubles. Because yeah, that's how it's going to unlock the next level. But then after the next level, there's only 2 parts left of this main project and one bonus video, but I'll probably do that. It's got like less than 10 minutes, so I'll probably do that like the same day as the finale. But anyway, you found a light shard. That's for me, right? It's actually right next to the dark shard, right here. Here. Wonderful. There's only 1 piece left, Uncle. Yep, we're almost at the end. Oh god, speaking of which, I need to split. After all, gotta enjoy life while we still can. Rotty, why do you keep saying that? Huh? Oh, haven't you heard? About the end of the world. The Hypno Baron is summoning a creature of unspeakable horror. I want to squeeze in as much fun as possible before the beast begins its world-ending rampage. Say what? Actually, I could use a lift. I'm going to ask Featherhead for a ride to the Hypno Baron's castle. Maybe I can get a front row seat. Here's a map if you want to come. To the Hypno Baron's castle. See ya. There's no way. I can't stand by and let the Hypno Baron summon some giant beast. Just one more time, Uncle, then I promise to help you finish your machine. So many distractions today. Just promise you'll be careful. I will, Uncle. What's Bolo got to say? If the world ends, I'm taking tomorrow off. But if the world ends... Whatever. You're an idiot. Hey, Sky. Sky! Let me guess, you want to ride to Hypno Baron's castle? How'd you know? Your fair weather friend of yours just tried to bum a ride. Oh? Sure leads you straight to trouble. But I have to stop the Hypno Baron. Typical, didn't say I didn't warn you. You ready for liftoff? Okay, climb aboard. Also, Sky's a dick in the next game. Can we just say that? In Seven Sirens, like as soon as like everyone gets kidnapped and the plot kicks off, she just goes, "Screw you guys. leave it to the police, I'm gonna go sunbathe. And that's like all she does. Then when you like saved a couple, I saved like the second spirit, happened to go talk to her, and she's like, wow, you know what that means? Time to turn over to my back. And she just flipped over to her back to get sun on her back. Ronnie Tubbs, wait up! That lousy sky, no good bird brain. Maybe walk all the way here. I just had changed legs last week. Don't be mad. I'm sure you'll find even better new legs. Anyway, tell me about the monster the Hypno Baron is conjuring. Oh, the creature of unspeakable horror? I heard my brother talking about it. I guess the Hypno Baron came for his advice, and he needed a creature evil enough to rip open the fabric of space-time and wash humanity-kind from the sea of eternal woe, or something along those lines. My brother told him how to summon the horror, and in exchange he got a whole sack of Secret Land Select Dark Almond Rose. You guys doomed humanity for a bag of coffee. Well, it was before 9 AM, so... Alright, I'm gonna find a way into Hypno Baron's summoning chamber and stop this right now. Coolio, I'll watch the fireworks from here. Thanks, Rotty Top. Helpful as always. But that being said, we're in the next level, and this is the only level where, like, outside of the issues of Wilson on the first visit, where I actually game overed a couple times. Like, after my first run of it, I've never had trouble in this level since, but my very first run of it, I actually did game over here. I got my ass kicked because I was so used to the rest of the game being pretty damn easy that I just tried to bum rush through it and I just got eaten alive. Which is worth mentioning to you as well. You don't need to be too cautious, but be a little cautious. Like, it's not the end of the world if you get beat up a little bit, because this is Shantae. There's a lot of healing items, there's a lot of ways of restoring life. There's even a spell you could have brought by now called Refreshment that restores hearts at the cost of a lot of magic, so there's still even that. Watch these little guys as well, the little pink blob guys. They will just try and pull you into them, smile, and then explode. Well, I said, the explosion doesn't hurt you, and you'll see we didn't actually take any damage from them. It's only if you're not mashing buttons do they hurt you. So your best bet is to just stay out of their range, or only attack them when they're laid down, but as soon as they go to get up, get out of the way. But we have the scimitar, so we have the maxed out version of the pike ball. Keeping in the middle road, the door over here will lead you to this brother of Rotty. Abner! Huh? Oh, it's the brain old legs. You got something for me? Coffee? Brains? Coffee with brains in it? Not really. Then get lost. You're a bud. You're a bud! So, why do you want a poster? Me and Poe are gonna take over this old castle, but I'm concerned about the wall right here screaming for a poster. Some totally awesome black light poster. But we'll come back to you, Abner. He's actually part of one of the 4 side quests I've been referring to a few times. When you unlock the final level of the game, there's 4 side quests. 3 of them you can have done before it, but 1 of them you can't have done before you unlock the side quests, like activation sort of thing. The one that you can't activate is you talk to someone who gives you a poster, but that person won't be there until after you've unlocked the final level. So you can do 3 of the 4 steps immediately, but you will have to venture back out at some point. Which is a shame for speedrunning. Like, it's a little annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Also, I try and be a bit cheeky here, but no, you can't really get up there right now. Like, I try to see if I can find a way to dangle my way up there in any sense of the form, like, earlier than you're supposed to. But no, and there's nothing for the spider to grab onto above us. It's open sky. It's the roof of the manor. But there is something worth our trouble in there. Also, if you see random chests around, attack them relentlessly, because there's a very good chance they're a mimic. There's only 2 unique, distinct collectibles in this area, in this entire level. It's got the least amount of collectibles in it, because you can pretty much get everything done in one visit. The only thing you can't get is you will have the ability to get from the reward for beating this level. In fact, once you beat this level, there's no excuse to not be able to get everything in the game anymore. You will have everything you need to get everything. Especially if you've been collecting a little bit as you go ahead. If you're going for 100% and you're feeling brave, it might be worth trying to push ahead to go for this level before you try and collect, well, anything. Just because it will save time on repeated visits. It's just, you got to know exactly what are the mandatory stuff then on your visits to get ahead of it. You see how cautious I'm being with these guys, because I don't want to get eaten again. Also, these lanterns, if you just bum rush and push through, you'll probably squeeze under before they land on you. Also, because I know that's the correct way to go and I've missed a treasure, I start backtracking. Because I know there's a treasure in here that we can get now that I just haven't picked up yet. So I'm like, hang on a minute, let me just go back. Get rid of this guy. And now here's another bit that you don't really need to do it this way, but you absolutely can. And I decide to go this way despite the fact it barely saves that much time. You can just go around. Or is this not the section I was about? No, you do need to squeeze up here naturally. There's another bit like that where you can just go around if you want to, and I just don't. If you want to get some free damage, even if it's not much, on the little blobs, knock down the lantern. That's what happens if you don't press anything. Like, if you just wait for it to try and explode on you, they will just take pot shot damage out of you. And up here is not a scrap metal. Like, as I've said before, if you're expecting any flowers beyond this point to hold scrap metal, and you're not in the first level of the game, you're not getting it. The only scrap metal we're missing is in the very, very first level of the game, right near the end, before Risky Boots showed up. But there's a heart holder over here, which is the main reason why you're coming over here. So we're only 3 left from getting every heart holder in the game, which you don't need. Let's be honest here, you do not need the amount of health this game can give you. And that applies to 7 Sirens as well. Like, I've got like 6 hearts and I already feel like I've got way too much health. Like, there's a trophy for doing a run for 100% in the game, but not banking in any of the hearts you find, because it's a Metroidvania game, they go back to, you have to essentially find heart pieces. But then when you get a full set for a heart piece, you can't just bank them in immediately. You have to go to a blacksmith, and the blacksmith will forge them into a heart holder for you. But now we're in the second main section, and this section gives me a little bit of trouble, and I keep it all in just to show you that it can give you a little bit of trouble if fortune goes against you, which is what happens here. Like, it just completely worked against me and I just fell off. I was like, oh great. But like, there's a trophy, sorry I'm getting off topic, in 7 Sirens for getting every single heart piece but not banking any of them in, so you're still at the default health and then finishing the game. And it's like saving all the heart squids, because the heart squids are what they are. You get heart squids and then you essentially kill them by slamming them with the hammer to get your heart. And I'm kind of looking forward to doing that kind of run. I'd probably like follow a guide, because you know we've got all the hearts in the game when you've got the full 2 bars. But if you're not banking them in, you'll need to actually know off by heart how many there is. So I'll probably just loosely follow a guide to make sure I get it done when I do that run. I probably won't do a speed run. If I get it by coincidence, I'll get it by coincidence, but I'm not going to make the effort to do a speed run. And it's the same with any game in the Shantae series, even this one. Despite it being far more linear and easier to do, I just have no interest in going for the speed run trophies. I never have. Also, this section is kind of long, without any real checkpoints. Like, there's no room transition like you got in the 3rd section of Tasseltown. So this is all one checkpoint. If you fall at any point during this, you're back to the start. Ow. Also, what doesn't help is those pricks dropping the lanterns all the time. But there's your screen transition. Look how much we had to do in one screen transition. That's what I'm on about. As far as I'm aware... Actually, I can't actually remember. I don't think there's any collectibles in this section of the level. I think it is just a straight linear path from one end to the other. I think the secret shop's here somewhere, though, to be fair. Somewhere. There's a lot of bats as well, but most of the bats you can kind of ignore. These spider women, the thing to do is that when they go to start defending, stop attacking. And just wait, and then like that. Your best bet to kill them quick is to actually wait till they start attacking, because they'll be locked in animation so they can't guard. As we enter the 3rd final section, there's your secret shop if you want to buy anything. Which I don't think I do. Yeah, there's the revive dance, you can exchange health for magic. Obliterate is pretty cool, but eh. But the rest of these dances I will be showing off in the bonus video, because there's just no reason to get them in the game, and it's something I have stood by since my first playthrough. There's no real worth. This is just more gems, making it feel kind of worthless again. This section could kind of screwy, and it ends up giving me problems because look, that just turned around, so I'm like, okay, now what? So I just wait and let it all reset because I just kind of got screwed off on the timing there. Getting all the pieces to align the time well for you can be very frustrating because I don't know, it just feels like they didn't sequence it to always be the same sequence. They should have made it so all of them are linked to the same sequence, but they're not, so sometimes coincidence can just really play against you as it did on that first bit. But once you're on the other side of that, you're pretty much done here. And you saw it when you see the Spider-Man went to start spitting out at us, it was pretty much left completely open for our attack because of it. But once you get to this door, this little back chamber, you are done with the level. It's a pretty damn short level, and like I said, there's only 2 proper collectibles in it. Kind of defeating the point. Hypno Baron, your chanting days are over, mister. Ah, it's you. No matter. My incantation is already complete. Tremble in fear as you witness the end of your world. No! Behold, the creature of unspeakable horror. No, no! Yo! Huh? Squid Baron? Check it! I've reached 5th boss status! That's 1 step away from top billing. I'd be surprised they didn't name the game after me. Shantae versus the important Squid Baron, they'd call it. No, Squid Baron's Quest starring Shantae. In fact, let's just make it a Squid Baron game. I'll even let you get it in as cheap DLC if you ask nicely. You can be a color palette swap. 99 cents sounds about right. You're out of your mind, Squid Baron. First of all, the titles always have a colon and the in the name. Second, the Squid Baron spin-off game would only appeal to a subset of the same audience. It's not going to sell like buns. How embarrassing. And third, swapping my color palette for yours would make you red and purple, which you already are. How dare you? Is there some crazy style? Cue the funky boss track and music and let's fight. Squid Baron, creature of unspeakable horror. This is part 1 of a 2-phase boss fight. But as I've said before, the strategy is just avoiding the tag. It's, like I said, there isn't anything fancy with the boss fights after Wilbur. You just attack the thing and they die. Which is a shame because I like creativity in the boss fights. The main reason I adore the entirety of the Final Fantasy VII boss fights is that they are insanely creative. The Final Fantasy VII Remake's boss fights are ridiculously inventive. And it's constant as well. Like, it's not... Well, I say that, I'm not a big fan. The only boss I'm not a big fan of is the first boss and Eligor to an extent, but the big ghoul you fight in the graveyard. You fight in the train graveyard. The big ghoul thing, that thing's just kind of annoying, especially in hard mode. That fight just sucks. But it's got so many amazing fights that I can let off one. And Eligor I'm just a bit with. It's an alright fight, but it's nothing special. But you see, the fight's already over, or so it seems. But like I said, this is a two-phase battle, so of course it doesn't have as much health. But the fact that you just wail on this thing and then it's kind of over, without much else to it, strategy-wise, is what makes the fights kind of lackluster to me in Shantae 4. But anyway, Dual Barons, the dastardly duo. They have separate health bars similar to Twitch and Vinegar, so you need to pick what target you feel like is more important and go from there. Squid Baron is usually worth killing first, because if you can get rid of Squid Baron, the Hypno Baron only has like 1 or 2 attacks available to him, because the rest involve the Squid Baron. So you might as well just focus on him. You see me do odd little pot shots just to speed up the process on the other side, but this fight, yeah, no, don't worry about it too much. If you want to make it even easier, bring the potions with you so you can restore your magic. Because then you can just sit on the scimitar, and the whole time Squid Baron's doing this, you can be hurting Hypno with the scimitars as well. See, there you go, Squid. That was easy enough. But now you're going to notice Hypno can't do much, because most of his attacks directly involve linking up with Squid Baron, and so they didn't really give him much of a moveset beyond that. I do end up healing because I kind of... Where I don't really care about the fights beyond this point, I'm going a lot less caring. And you're going to see me get beat the shit out of because of it. And I'm like, okay, now I'm nearly going to die. I should probably eat something. So I have a roast. But this fight, listen, this is literally all he's doing. Making a little infinity symbol and throwing fireball every now and then, and the fight's already over. That's it. We saved the day from the unspeakable horror. Hooray! And even though they've all exploded, the Hypno Baron's at least going to still be alive. Poor Squid Baron though, he nuked him. Oh my gosh, I think I blew him up for good. I hope you're happy now, Hypno Baron. He might have been a big jerk face, but deep down he just wanted to be loved. Oh, he will be. You see, I summoned him here for the option of his merchandising rights. Say what? Squid Baron's had and mugs and t-shirts, crew necks and such, but what happened to ripping up the fabric of time space and washing away humankind in the sea of eternal woe? Who told you that? No, it's gracing the fabric of leisure time and blowing away humankind in the sea of heavy weave, 100% cotton comfort. Oh. Squid Baron merch will fund evil for all eternity. Yeah. I'm going home to take a very long, very hot bath. And that ends the Hypno Baron's castle. The last exploration based level. I say that, it's not the last proper level. There is still one last level, but the final level has no collectibles in it whatsoever. It is just a straight path to the final boss. And yeah, that is literally how much is already left of this game. The next part is cleanup, the part after that is the finale. But it's time for our best dance, the harpy dance. You can fly now. That's all that needs to be said. And that's all the transformation dances in the game, outside the ones you can buy. So you can climb walls with the monkey, fly straight and small as the bat, fly high with the harpy, go across the ocean surface with the crab, swim through the water as the mermaid, squeeze through tiny gaps as the mouse, and cling to ceilings as the spider. It's my personal best. Being a genie is that's only half of it. Sure, easy work. I know what you meant, and thanks, but now I really owe it to Uncle to get the final component. So what is it anyway, Uncle? According to this, oh dear, the blueprint shows a hand crank mechanism, but this isn't good. This is where your Uncle gets a chance to shine. That's right, we're going to improvise. Why turn a wheel when you can rig up a hamster wheel to do the work for us? I don't know, that sounds like bad news for some hamster. Hey, I know. A regular hamster would get tired and need to rest, right? But a zombie hamster would probably run all day long. Brilliant, it's settled then. The zombie hamster would be a perpetual tool. You need to get a hamster wheel out of the iron. Seriously going with this plan? Okay, Rossi Tops, it sounds like it's your department. Where can I find a zombie hamster? Dunno. How about just a regular one and buy it? I think that's how Poe got his. If your brother has a zombie hamster, why didn't you just say so in the first place? What about the iron slab? You need to ask around town. Well, we now know what to do. Until then, though, you take care now.